The Baal Shem Tov had a custom to say the Mincha prayer in the forest. He even had his own special tune for Hodu. He would then continue on to Kabbalat Shabbat, the prayers welcoming in the Shabbos, which he would sing very slowly and while there's still a lot of daylight left. His favorite was Lecha Dodi. He'd sing each stanza very slowly and each in their own special tune. He did this because if he would return home, he almost always had guests waiting, and they would want to pray later in the day, and then the Baal Shem Tov wouldn't get to do all these very special tunes in the prayer written by the great Kabbalist Rabbi Shlomo Alkabetz. However, in the forest, with the wind slowly blowing through the branches, it's as though his singing was emerging from the Garden of Eden itself, and each of the trees bowing back and forth along with him is as though each leaf was singing to Hashem along with the great tzaddik. As the Baal Shem Tov would sing, Kumi tzim etof avecha, arise, leave from the midst of turmoil. How long have you dwelt in this valley of tears? The birds above in their nests would coo along with him, as the Baal Shem Tov turned to welcome in the Shabbos queen, bidding her to pray and sing along with him, as though he were a prisoner, begging, crying for the light to shine forth from the darkness of this exile. And when the branches above would shadow over his face, he would say, and cover us with the tent of your mercy, life, and peace. When the Baal Shem Tov was done davening, dressed in his white garments, he'd go home to spend the Shabbos with his family, and to see what guests were there. This time, as the Baal Shem Tov opened the door, he saw his guest, Reb David. Reb David said, I was here, I was waiting for you to pray. The Baal Shem Tov, not wanting to let him know that he had already prayed, said, okay, please begin. Reb David led the service, while the Baal Shem Tov mumbled quietly to himself. Then, as was customary, the Baal Shem Tov would typically sing the Shalom Aleichem prayer in a way that felt like the whole house was singing along with him. But when he had guests, he would ask them to lead. And so Reb David led Shalom Aleichem, along with the Kiddush. Reb David made the prayers over the wine, and the Baal Shem Tov simply answered Amen. They ate their meal, and afterwards the Baal Shem Tov made his bed, and all of them went to bed. They went to sleep. Early in the morning, Reb David awoke. Seeing a great light coming out of the kitchen, he thought there must be a fire, so he jumped up and screamed, fire, fire, and ran to the kitchen, only to see the Baal Shem Tov sitting there reading a book. The Baal Shem Tov looked at him and said, what's wrong? What's happened? He said, I thought I saw a fire above the stove. Baal Shem Tov said, no, I'm just here reading Tehillim. Perhaps you saw the light of the Psalms I'm reading surrounding me. At that point, Reb David realized this man is no ordinary beggar. He must be one of the 36 hidden tzaddikim. From this, we can understand that even though we recognize our greatness, it's good to be humble about it. And even though we recognize our beauty, it's good to be modest about it. And in this world, with beautiful creations, one greater than the next, sometimes it's good to sing about it. So we should have a week blessed with singing, with happiness, joy, life, and peace. Shavua Tov.